Alright, I'd like to make a part 2 to the previous video I had on here with the ram style intake. The other video I showed you where the snorkels go down inside the fenders, but I didn't really show you how I cut the holes out in the wheel well. We'll get to that in a second. By the way, this is a 68 cutlass we're working on. And this is what I did for the pickups under the bumper. They are pretty ghettified, but they do work. Actually, if you stick your head down there while it's running, you can vaguely hear air being sucked through. You have to bear with me a second. I'm just gonna grab the drop light. Like I said, it is ghetto. This isn't permanent, but this is all I can do for now. You can see the PVC piping right in between. This is just dryer. This is a dryer hose going up to the PVC piping. They're not that hideous when the car's driving down the road. They're barely noticeable also. Okay. Anyway. When you're gonna go and do these holes in here, how I drilled the wheel well out was kit came with these little plastic pieces that you can stick inside the hose and then you can clamp them on, but I didn't go that route. Instead, I used them as templates for the measurement of the diameter, and I stuck them on the wheel well like this. And you know, once you slide them back and forth in there and you get the location you want, I'll just stick it up here. What you can do is take black spray paint and, you know, just kind of dust it on in there. Like, this way when you take it back, you have your dimension. It'll be nice and shaded. Oh, this pen's garbage. Your dimension will be shaded in here, so you know exactly where you want it. Now I know there are other methods to doing this. You can do whatever you like. What I did was I just drilled holes all around the perimeter, and obviously there's more. I drilled more holes than what's drawn on this paper, but once you drill enough holes around here, you can basically knock it out with your hand and then stick a grinder down in there and just clean it up so it's a nice circular hole. And you know, you're gonna have to keep trying and then stick your piping in there, see if it works. If not, grind some more. One key I would say is don't overbore the hole. Keep fitting it as you go so it'll actually hold the pipe in place. Then you can take your snorkel and just stick it over the pipe. Clamp it on. And it does hold it in there pretty tight. I mean, it's not going anywhere. One thing I talked about in the other video was these spacers that you need underneath the air filter lid that go on top of the carb. I'm not acquainted with like Edelbrocks or Hollies. I never really used them. You may need them for those applications, but you definitely need them on a quadrijet. And the problem is you can't clear the air horn. The air filter lid is so big underneath that it hits the air horn, so you need to space it apart. Right there where the choke, above the choke, and further back where it operates the secondaries is where it hits. So if you look under there, you can actually see the spacer. Now I use 2 spacers because I wanted to elevate the lid up just a little bit higher to help clear the air conditioning lines and the heater core return line. And it's still routing up a little bit high for my taste. Bear with me a second. I'll give you a rear view of the car while I finish my smoke. Alright, let's get back to business. I'll pull the lid off just to show you what the washers or the spacers will look like once they're on top. Plus I do want to make some secondary adjustments today anyway. Now I'm using a Quadrajet, and I know they get a bad rap, but they're not that bad of a carburetor. Actually, in my taste, they're a really good carburetor if they're dialed in correctly. A lot of people have bad luck with these carburetors, but that's because they monkey with them and they don't really know what they're doing. Once they're dialed in, they run like a dream. Alright, I'm going to pull these screws out. Give me a second and pull these screws out right here. And we're back. Alrighty. Oh, I had 3 of them in there. Right here is where the filter assembly is going to bump. This is the adjustment I need to make. I don't have enough tension on these doors right now. But I can make another video later about these and how these work. But this is a pretty damn big air filter assembly. And it is 2-piece. Hang on. Yeah. Get it unstuck here. But this is what's going to happen if you don't have spacers. And yeah, that's not going to work. That's no good. Once you stack these bad boys up on here, I would love to elevate it up even higher, but my stud for the air filter isn't exactly going to allow that unless I change it. But there you have it. It'll be nice and doesn't really move around. It does a little bit, but once you put the lid on and screw it down, it ain't going nowhere. But that just about concludes this video, so hopefully that helps some people out. So then again, this application is really going to only apply to GM A bodies. Now I don't think anybody with a Pontiac or a Skylark is going to do this route, but you know, some people with a Chevelle might want to try this out. But it is basically a W-31 Oldsmobile knockoff, which I'm not paying out the nose for the actual setup because this car is just a work in the projects anyway. But like I said, hopefully this helps some people out. And get back to me, and if you have any other questions or other videos you'd like me to make, let me know.